Hello and welcome to Inside Homebrewing. I'm Jay Thomas. And this is a damp beer I brewed up a while back. It's what is it? It's 70% Pilsner malt, 30% light Munich malt with Hallertau middle fruit hops. And but the kicker is, on a damp beer you use a wheat beer yeast. This time I switched up the wheat beer yeast and I went with the Stefan, the imperial yeast. Has more banana to it. It's really good beer. A little chill haze, but anyway, came out good. But today's project, it's today and tomorrow. I'm brewing up a beer, another batch of beer tomorrow. But my last batch of beer I brewed up was a Roggen beer. I brewed it specifically for the NHC, the National Homebrew Competition from the American Homebrewers Association. Anyway, I always been having the my local homebrew store grind up the mill the grains for me. This time it hit I got a real bad efficiency. I didn't really change anything on the recipe that would constitute that much of a difference. I dropped about 10 points. I normally get about a 72% efficiency. That's what I base all my recipes on. I usually hit 70 to 75%. So I base my recipes on 72. This one hit about, I think it was 66% efficiency. Then the beer before that, I don't remember what it was. I think it was the also for the NHC. I brewed a what was it? The Australian brain dead. The Australian sparkling ale, and that one fell low on efficiency also. So I decided maybe it's the grain, and then maybe it's the mill that they're doing. You know, maybe it's not crushing up the grains fine enough. Maybe something changed with their process down there. But anyway, so I picked up this the other day. It's the Kegco Kegco 3 roller grain mill. The Kegco mill speeds recommend 2,000 RPMs maximum, or 200 RPMs maximum, 500 RPMs. It's fully adjustable on each side. I'll show you how that works. And it didn't come with any instructions, but it's real easy to put together. You can go online and download it. They have a PDF file to download. And I put it all together. It's just some screws and some plates. It's real simple. But the adjusting thing is what I'm trying to hone in right now. And we'll get this out in the garage and do a little tweaking on it and see where we're at. We're going to try this out, and then tomorrow I'm going to be brewing a batch of beer. And we'll see if we can improve the efficiency on this next batch of beer. This batch I'm brewing tomorrow is just a simple... I want to get something in the keg fairly quick, within a few weeks, but it's just a simple smash beer. It's Red X malt, 12 pounds Red X malt, 1.5 ounces of sterling hops at 7% alpha acids, and 1/2 ounce of the same sterling hops for the last 10 minutes of boil. And I'm using the Imperial Yeast GO3. I think it's, I don't remember if it's a Kaiser or what it is, or Dieter or something, but anyway, it's a GO3 ale yeast. We'll give that a shot. It's like for a Kolsch type of beer yeast. But anyway, we're going to see if we can't bump up our efficiency. I based this recipe also on 72%, and we'll get a look at Brewer's Friend, see where it's supposed to be, and what our numbers should be at that percentage, and see what this the new mill, if that makes a difference on my whole process. We'll give it a shot. So I milled some grain with this the other day, and just trying to figure out how it works, and then I decided, well, I need to make this Red X beer. But anyway, that's what it's got. On either side, it has the adjustment. It starts at 0.063, and you can go down to a 0.032 either side. I don't quite understand on what the difference is, if it's pointed over here or over here. And then the same thing on the other side. So it's got a little indicator on here. It's got a line here. I adjusted it and put it to here. Seemed to work good with the grain I milled the other day. And this one is pointing the same way. That little line, I don't know if you can see that. But it's about adjusted equally, as far as I can tell, on the bottom of this. Okay, so got this flipped over. But when you turn the mill, it's going to be sucking the grain down between the spinning roller and this free spinning roller. And then the adjustment comes from this roller here. Apparently it's on a cam system that brings it closer or farther away from these two set mills, grinders, whatever you want to call them. And that's how, and you can't really get in there to put a gauge in there, so you're just relying on totally on what it says for the adjustment screw. So what you do, you loosen up the set screws, and then come over, make sure each side is close to the same. You can see that line on here. You would just adjust it to 32 this way or 32 that way. That's the widest. Apparently it's the same, just how the cam works. So we're going to go with in between the two, what looks to be about a 45-degree angle from in between those two, and set it there. So I don't know. There's no individual marking, so I don't know exactly what it is. So turn that screw in, set this nut here, and the same with here, loosen that up, and then it's pointing the same direction. So we just adjust this. So it's about, it looks to me about correct there. I don't know. Back this off and then tighten it up. Theoretically, that should be pretty close to it. How it sits, it probably adjusts like this. So it should be pretty close to level across, if that makes any sense. So got 12 pounds of grain. We'll get that ground up. It's an 11-pound hopper, so we'll dump in a bunch and then dump in some more after it runs through there, and we'll see how fine it is. See how much of this 12 pounds fits in here. Most of it for sure. We'll see how this works. Get a look inside here. Oh yeah, that's crushed real fine. Oh boy. Okay, we're going to experiment and back off a little bit. What we'll do is take this, loosen that up, and turn that dial a little more towards the 63. Tighten it up. Do the same thing over here. Loosen that up. Turn it up about to there. I'm just guessing. Like I said, there's no way to get a gauge underneath there that I know of. I'll have to investigate some more. And we'll run this again. I'm gonna leave it there. I do have a brew bag. I use the brew bag, so shouldn't be an issue. It's like doing a BIAB, brew in a bag, but I do just a regular mash. But I use that brew bag on top of my false bottom. We'll see what happens. Be interesting to see, because adjusting it doesn't seem to make any difference on what the grind looks like. Anyway, we'll get the rest of this in here and finish grinding it off and brew some beer tomorrow. We'll go from there, see what happens. There we go. Let's see what we got here. It's a much finer grind than what I get at my local brew shop. That's for sure. We'll see how well this the brew bag actually works. Yeah. As far as no stuck sparge. So tomorrow's brew day. I got that put away, and then, you know, they say not to mill your grains in the brew house. Probably a good idea because of the dust and grains that carry a lot of I think it's lactobacillus. So you don't want the dust in the air to land in the cooled off beer, you know, while it's in the brew kettle and chilled, or while it's going into the fermenter, the open fermenter, you know, before it's all sealed off. You can land back that the grain dust, the fine particles of grain dust with the lactobacillus on it, can funk up your beer. Anyway, we're going to brew this beer tomorrow and check our numbers. There we go. I'm going to dough in and we'll check the pre-boil gravity here after a while. So I cooled down the pre-boil gravity sample. Well, this is now boiling. Anyway, brewer's friend said I should end up with pre-boil volume of 7.49 gallons. I ended up with 7.1 gallons. I have to run the numbers and see where we're at on efficiency, but brewer's friend also said at the 7.49 gallons, based on a 72% efficiency, I should end up with a pre-boil gravity of 1.041. Right now it is at a 1.054. 1.054. I'll punch the numbers in and see where we're at. 1.054. So I got things wrapping up here now. I got took a sample. Love the color of that all red X. It's just beautiful. Anyway, brewer's friend says it should be 1.057 based on 5.5 gallons and based on 72% efficiency. We're doing better than that, but I did end up low on the volume. I have 5.1 gallons instead of 5.5. We have a 1.06, 1.065. I'll run the numbers and we'll see exactly where we're at. That's going to be a winner. So all is said and done, I have the beer put in here, ready to get going. And anyway, the Kegco 3-roller mill came out pretty good. It seems to work better. I came up with a 77% efficiency. I did run a little short on volume of the initial wort, but so we're at 77%, coming up a little short, but so that could affect the overall efficiency. I do have another batch ready to go. I already milled it, maybe slightly finer mill than what this batch was, because I adjusted it a little bit, backed it off a little bit. But I can't come to any conclusions right now as to whether or not it is better than my local homebrew shop grind is, but it's looking pretty good. So I'll be back in a few weeks brewing another batch of beer, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. All right, so it's another brew day, testing out the that mill, the grain mill. Anyway, this batch I milled up right away with it. It had to say tighter, had a slightly tighter gap than the last batch we just did, but it's pretty fine. So we'll see how this goes. I do have the I do use the brew bag. I don't do brew in a bag per se, but I do use the brew bag. Real fine mesh screen, works excellent. That just goes on top of the mash tun. It keeps all the small little particles from getting it through and into the beer, and you got clear wort running out of there right away. So anyway, we're gonna get this doughed in and try this out. I based the recipe on it was based on 72%. We're gonna see if this milling it myself with this Kegco mill gets a better efficiency. So far, the last batch was at 77%, so we're trying this, and we'll give one more shot. We'll try it 3 times and see if we can't come to a conclusion. So here we go on batch number 2. So the mashing is all done. I got that starting to heat up, going to be boiling here in a little bit. Pre-gravity sample. Brewer's Friend says that based on a based on a 72% efficiency, it should end up being a 1.042. We have a 1.046 right now, and the I'll have to run the numbers, but I cooled this off. I cooled the wort off. It's at 65 degrees, and the hydrometer is based on 68 degrees, but 1.046. We'll run the numbers, see where we're at. So it's a done deal. We'll get a gravity reading now. Brewer's Friend said based on a at 5.5 gallons, which is what we ended up with. 5.5 gallons at 72% efficiency. It should be a 1.057 as a original gravity reading. We'll see where we're at. 1.060. 1.060, so I'll just run the numbers and see where we're at for efficiency on this finer grind of on the mill. So we go fast forward 2 weeks. The last batch of beer I did, I ran the numbers and it came out at 76% efficiency. The batch before that was 77% efficiency, so I'm starting to think it was the grind, with this finer grind that I'm doing with the Kegco 3-roller grain mill. It is getting better. So I'm brewing another batch today. It's a single decoction beer, which gives me a good, doing a decoction, I always get a higher efficiency. So we're going to run the numbers on this one also, and we're going to give it the same grind that the last batch had. But it ended up, last time, it ended up at, I think it was 78% efficiency. So we'll get this batch ground up. Oh, it's not going to hold all this grain. Son of a bitch. We'll see. It's an 11-pound hopper. I got about 13 and a half pounds. See, they lie. It holds 13 and a half pounds. So I'm about to dough in. Got the same grind as the last time. But anyway, I checked the numbers on the last time I brewed this exact beer, and it was ground by the, they milled it at the local homebrew shop. And the numbers, it wasn't 78%, it came out at 74% efficiency. So a couple points higher than what I had anticipated with the, when I set up the recipe. I based it off of 72%. But so we'll get this one going. It's like I said, it's a single decoction, so it usually comes out as at a higher efficiency. We'll see what it ends up this time with this real tight, lot better grind. So the pre-boil gravity on this was expected to be 1.046. It's a lot better than that. Let's see where we're at here. I cooled it down to about 66 degrees. Oh yeah, pre-boil gravity is 1.065. 1.065. It was expected to be a 1.046. 1.065. So far, with the finer grind than what I normally get at the brew shop, and the decoction mash, that's really something. That's a big difference. We'll see what happens once I run the numbers through Brewer's Friend. So that's a done deal. Taking the gravity reading, we have a 1.083. 1.083. That's significantly, can't talk, been drinking too much. Significantly better than what it had been on the last one. 1.083. So I'm going to run the numbers through the Brewer's Friend and see where we're at on efficiency. Probably high 70s. So it's another brew day. The Kegco 3-roller mill came through again. On that last batch, it was 79% efficiency. I mean, the numbers are boosted a little bit because of a decoction, but so far I love it. What I got going on here, this next batch of beer, I haven't adjusted the grind after I initially got it to work with my drill. I use this pneumatic drill because I did not have a drill with a half-inch thing, so I just use the pneumatic drill. It was originally set a little tighter, and I would have to reverse the drill to get it to crush. So I backed it off just a little bit. It works great now. I mean, I got just a little compressor, run it for a while. You have to stop because it's out of air, then run it again. It's all done. The hopper says 11 pounds. They lie. We maxed it out at 13 and a half without spilling any over the side. Keep it dry, keep it clean. It probably lasts me a lifetime. Anyway, I love it. Grind your own and then get a much better efficiency than what I was getting with the grind at the local homebrew shop. Anyway, check it out. It was like 150 bucks, right around there. I got it from Beverage Factory. The Beverage Factory is who I got this from. Yeah, 150 bucks works for me. It's a good investment. I love it. Anyway, brew what you like what you brew. We'll see you next time. Inside Homebrewing.